Beth Prater, and this is our home. It's 301 Alabama Street. I live here with my husband, Al Prater,
When was this house built?
1926.
Do you know who built it?
I think it was built by a builder by the name of Robinson from Blue Mountain. As far as we know, that's what we think. He built about this time. This house was built. First Methodist was built, and a house on the corner of Apple was built about that time. And there's a lot of similarities in the homes. That, he was building quite a few homes at that time.
So he was a builder.
A builder, and some things that maybe an architect of some sort. But this house, there's a mirror, identical house to this house in Memphis on Belvedere, and a mirror to it in Tupelo on Church Street. And I know the house in Memphis was built in 1925, so I don't know if they were just, I don't know any connection, but it's identical to this house.
You don't know if he was the builder?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But so I don't know if it was a plan at the time that was, but I do know of two others that are identical to it.
How did you find out about the two that were identical?
I was driving by and saw them, and we always had liked the homes in Midtown, just like looking at them. And there was one house in particular we looked at, and we were like, it's our house. It's the same house. I mean, the windows, everything are identical. I've never been inside the house, but the exterior is the same.
So there's one in Tupelo on Church Street,
on
just
Church
like
Street,
this. Have you ever been in that
I
one?
have not been in that one either.
How long have you lived in this house?
We moved here in 1993, so we were 30-year anniversary this year.
Do you know anything about the families who lived here before you did?
We're the fourth family that I know of originally. The original owners of the house were Joe Rogers, J.L.S. Rogers. There was another Joe Rogers, his son, later, but he built the house. And apparently there was another house on this lot, and they moved it to the back of the lot and built this house in 1926. And when we first moved here, there were several. There was a neighbor, Mr. John Rogers, lived in a house over, and he said it was the high point of his summer that year that it built, that he spent his all day, watching the house go up, and he had lots of fun stories about the building of it, and it was real fun to hear.
What about the people after that?
The house was sold, and I don't know the name of that family that bought the house, and that was probably in the late 70s when the house left the Rogers family, and then it was sold again then to Paul and Mary Broussard. Mary was Mary Wiseman Broussard, and that's who we bought the house from in 1993.
Do you know what is the architectural style of this house?
I think it's considered a craftsman.
Of the craftsman style, does your house have lots of built-ins?
We have quite a few, and as far as just really one built-in china cabinet is still in this house, and we have the original, or it was the heating blueprint. It's not the blueprint of the house, and so the house is pretty much as it was at that time, but so the primary built-in that was this just as the china cabinet.
Do you know any stories about this house?
Well, not like, I've never thought my house was haunted or anything like that. No spooky stories or anything like that about it. I do feel strength from all the families that have lived here, and Miss Lucy Rogers was married to the son, and when we first moved here, she had a sweet story of coming here as a bride and being in the top windows where they came back to live and looking out and seeing all the crepe myrtles in bloom, and that was just always a sweet story. And I've heard kids, adults say that they remember, riding by the house and seeing ghosts looking out them. But if there are, they like us.
What's it like living in this neighborhood?
Well, we've stayed here 30 years, so I've raised 3 daughters here, and it's home, and I love it. I love old things. I love the old trees. I just find strength in something that's been there a long time. So, and it's also really nice to be walking distance of downtown, and so I do enjoy being close to everything.